And obviously, we've done it better today than we have done in some previous games. But we're working, we're improving, and that's the aim.
But you hadn't scored until this gentleman.
Obviously, it's nice to score. Like Harry said, we could have scored 3 or 4 in the first half, like you say, with the chances and stuff like that. We have to be more clinical, I'm sure that's what the manager will say and stuff like that. But I thought after Wednesday night and the reaction that we showed after the game against Newcastle, it was a good win. Coming up.
Were you surprised about the freedom you had, particularly in that first half?
No, not particularly, no. Obviously, we're high energy and we wanted to come on the front foot and really press them and get on the front foot and create chances, and that was what we did. And it was just a matter of scoring goals and obviously killing the game off in the second half.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Manchester United push on with their task to achieve Champions League football with that 2-0 victory over Everton. We spoke about Manchester United's dominance before the break, Leon, but how do you sum up Everton's day?
Frustrating, I suppose, to come and lose without really having a proper go, certainly in that second half. But you can't argue Manchester United were by far the better team in all the crucial areas of the field. Had a number of chances where it could have been even more than 2. But Everton will feel that both goals they conceded were avoidable. So frustration in those sense of terms. But yeah, but as I said, Manchester United were comfortably the better team. And
it was a goal in each half that did the damage, Paul. Could they both have been avoided, do you think?
Well, Leon seems to think so. I just thought it was good play from Manchester United, especially the first goal. I think the pass from Jadon. We know Jadon's been a little bit quiet, but that's what he's good at. He's good at them little tight areas, produce intricate, lovely weighted passes. Good from Scott McTominay, good bit of movement. You see, it's difficult to get through all that. It's a bit of a mess there for Everton. There's 10 players behind the ball. And it's a lovely pass from Sancho and well finished at the near post.
Well, there's 4 tackles there that, you know, Everton have lost to Marcus Rashford in 50-50 tackles on the edge of the penalty area. And then, in that crucial moment, great run by McTominay. You're right, positive from Manchester United's point of view.
You've got to accept good play sometimes, though.
Is that right? Yeah. I always had to against you.
To be fair, that could have been 5 or 6, couldn't it, by that time? Anyway.
No, it could, yeah. I mean, that finished the game off. So, as I said, question marks whether he was actually offside, but
it was reset.
You know, it resets it, I suppose. But no,
clutching it. Yeah.
I am, but yeah, as I said, a game where Everton didn't pose enough threat. Manchester United could have won. The chances they had, Jordan Pickford was outstanding, but the 2 goals they actually conceded were avoidable from Everton's point of view. So frustrating.
They've combined for 20 goals, Martial and Rashford. How big is it having Martial back fit? Because it feels like it gels a lot better when they're both playing.
Yeah, it does, and certainly with Marcus Rashford maybe looking like he could miss some time as well. So having him back is important. But they look like they enjoy playing together, and the team looks more balanced. I think having the both of them in the team, it offsets that they have more penetration, you know, rather than Marcus Rashford being the one running behind Sancho and Anthony coming to feet all the time. Although Anthony did in the first half running behind a little bit more. I think they give lovely balance with both. But from United's perspective, I was just really impressed, and I think you know they're fighting on all 3 fronts. They're going to need all of their squad. Eriksen back in as well today. That gives them a little bit more quality in the midfield. So many options for Ten Hag.
How big is it to have Martial back for the running? Because he's spoken about how physically fragile he is.
Yeah, look, it's great to have him back. We all know the quality he's got. It's just can he get through it now? Can he get through to the end of the season? It's not. He hasn't got a great record fitness-wise, but we all know how good a player he is. If he's playing in this team, he's scoring 20 goals, 20 to 25 goals, and that adds up then to that gap. There is a big gap in goals between United and Liverpool and City and Arsenal. But like you say, it's a little bit of a blow with Rashford. I just hope he's okay, because you know, just as Marcus comes back, then he goes out. Them 2 together play really well. They have some kind of link that has been missing in forward areas, and they're both very dangerous. And look, I hope Marcus is okay, and it gives you that option. And as I said before the game, you need 4 or 5 players who are going to contribute to try and get you up to 70, 80 goals. And I think Martial and Marcus together could possibly bring half of those.
Yeah, they really need to hope that Rashford injury is nothing serious. Here, though, Old Trafford becoming a fortress. It was a really good atmosphere here today. 24 unbeaten, and they were completely dominant. The chances they had, Joe, in that first half, 21 shots, which is a record for any half this season.
Yeah, completely dominant. And going back to the points before, they've got so much threat, so they do need to score more goals from different areas. But it was just flowing today. You know, Wan-Bissaka won't be happy with that. Luckily, he was offside. But this is what Anthony done particularly well in the first half. He got in behind. He just needs to brush up on this last little finish. Can he open his body up? But again, he got in all too easy down Everton's left-back channel in the first half, and then Sean Dyche made the change at half-time. But United just flowed, and there's options. And I think having Bruno and Eriksen in the team, and with a front three in front of them, I think they're going to create chances and they're going to score goals. And if you're a Man United fan, there's a lot to look forward to.
The fact they didn't take more of those chances, is that just going to increase the talk, Leon, about what they need to do in the summer?
Absolutely. You know, as Paul says, you need your striker to score 25 goals plus minimum, but everybody has to contribute if you're gonna have success. Your midfielders need to get 8-10 goals. Your wide men need to get 10 or 12 goals. So until you reach those standards, everybody will be questioned, because that's how you make the team better, by questioning people, by asking, by demanding of people, right through to the manager, to the players. And if that's not the case, then to make the next step, to bridge that gap between where they are now and Arsenal and Manchester City, then they will have to look at strengthening.
Joe Cole, Paul Scholes and Leon Osman watching with me. Man United lead 1-0, but they could be out of sight. Paul, they had 16 shots before they finally made the breakthrough in the 35th minute. You did say Scott McTominay had goals in him?
I did, yeah, and I was right again.
That happens on a rare occasion.
I think United have been brilliant. It's been a great game to watch. I think both teams have contributed. But McTominay, I do think he's got goals in him, this lad. I think played further forward up the pitch. He will score. United's been camped in that half. They created a lot of chance, especially down that Everton's left-hand side, Man United's right-hand side. They've been dangerous. It's a clever bit of movement. I'm sure Leon will pick up on a runner that could have possibly stayed with him, and he's just too hard at the near post for Pickford. Some people might question Pickford, but I just think he gets over it too well.
They did, though, in the half, have 21 shots, which is a record for any half this season, Joel. How has it been so easy for them to get in behind?
I don't know. It's incredible. You see, a Sean Dyche team, we all expected them to really, camp in and restrict United, but to get that many touches in the box, I think you have to credit Man United's attacking play. I think they've moved it fast. Rashford, Anthony, Bruno Fernandes is picking passes. Just this little bit here. If he could just get this right, this would have been out of sight for Everton. Jordan Pickford's been outstanding. Just in at will. Godfrey was having a torrid time in the left-back position. He was all over the place in the first half. But United's passing in the final third was excellent. And the only disappointing thing for United, it's not out of sight.
Yeah, they really could have had a hatful in that first half. Everton, though, had a big chance of their own at 0-0, Leon, for Ellis Sims, but he just couldn't take the opportunity.
Yeah, frustration for the young man. His movement was very good. The play was particularly impressive, and gets himself into this lovely position. The ball just wouldn't fall nicely where he felt comfortable to strike it. You see, he takes his first touch. He's not quite happy. Wants to try and move it again, and when that happens, end up scuffing it past the far post.
Do you know what he didn't do there? He didn't expect that much. He didn't get his head up and look. So as he took the touch, the ball's just underneath his feet, and he just drags it wide. But he's been a thorn in United's side. He's been good.
For Manchester United, you know more than anyone, when you get into April, it's the business end, defining month of the season. And this today, in terms of the Premier League after the midweek, how important is it Manchester United keep moving?
Yeah, it's a lot to it as well. It's a 12:30 kickoff as well, so you get an opportunity to put your stamp on this round of football. So you can put some pressure. If you're Man United, you can put some pressure on Newcastle and Tottenham. If you're Everton, you can put some pressure on the guys that are going to play after them. If they lose, of course, it's not so great. But it is an opportunity, and this is what this period is. It's all about taking those opportunities. You want to do something for the rest of the season. This is now. This is where it begins. And I think Ten Hag, he said that the other day in an interview, this is where it begins. Well, he's not been here before. So it's also for United fans. We sit there and we're watching what is he going to do with the team? How is he going to line them up? Does he understand that now every little bit counts towards what's going to happen at the end result? So it's also the most interesting period of the season. Now everything is settled. So yeah, a lot of pressure, a lot of fun.
He's got some plates to juggle, Eric Ten Hag. As I say, 7 games in 22 days, FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, 2 European quarter-finals in there as well.
Yeah, but it's where you want to be, though, Steve. It's Manchester United Football Club. You have a squad that want to compete for all trophies, all competitions, and he's in that perfect situation. I think when it was 4-0 at the start of the season when they lost to Brentford, if we had that conversation now, he'd be taking it with both hands. So I don't think it's a bad thing, and I think that's an expectation of the football club and where they should be going.
And do you feel now with this manager and this group of players, they're better dealt with to deal with that expectation at this stage of the season?
The stats are very simple because we are at the end point of where we were last season. Now, we're exactly where we were in terms of how that season ended. So he's done with the team incredibly well. What he's done for me particularly well is to set standards. And he's sort of demonstrated that along the way, that I'm the boss. It's what I want to have in the team. Even this week, he's been out there saying, you know, you're playing for Man United. If you're not prepared to do what it takes to be a Man United player, you don't belong here. These are clear messages that we haven't heard from any of the managers succeeding Sir Alex. This is what it was like to work with Sir Alex Ferguson. It was so clear. The clarity of what you had to do was there, and it made it fairly easy to be a player because you knew exactly what the job was, and you knew what the requirements were, and you knew what you had to do in games. And one thing that he's done very, very well is to get the players working hard. It's the same with Everton today. We're going to see Everton in a completely different way that we've seen Everton under previous managers, because Sean's come in there and he's made them work hard, and that's a starting point. So he's worked on the dressing room, he's worked on mentality, talks about culture. All of that we haven't seen for a lot of years, and that is what gives